morning, everybody. Morning. So welcome to Boris Live. Boris Live is a new concept for us. Hopefully you're going to enjoy it. We'll talk about the purpose of the concept as we go on a little bit. But first and foremost, I'm James Squires. I'm the sales manager here at Boris Software. I've been with the business just over 2 years now. Concentrate on a lot of our key clients, and those clients can also include fire stopping clients, fire doors clients, and therefore some of my expertise today, and hopefully what I'm going to bring, is in and around fire doors and the manufacturing through to remedials and end user stage.
Thank you very much, James. Good morning, everybody. Once again, thank you very much for joining us today. Just to introduce myself, my name's Shatu. I'm the sales manager within Boris Software. Been working alongside James for 2 years. However, I have been with the business for 4 years, working with a variety of different industries. However, the fire industry around fire stopping and fire doors has been my main expertise. Hopefully today we'll be able to demonstrate our Boris asset management system to you and show you that cradle to grave history and how we can support you in digitising your processes. Thank you very much.
Brilliant. So we've got an action-packed hour coming years. So we're not a software business that's responded to tragedies or even to new legislation coming out. We've been around a long time, and we've been managing software or providing software to our clients that works the golden thread for 11 years, even though we didn't know it was called the golden thread 11 years ago. So that really gives us a lot of expert knowledge. So the first thing that we really want to do with Boris Live is share that expertise, share our knowledge amongst potential clients, people in the industry, helping us to discuss and to talk about the new pieces of legislation. The second thing we really want to do is help you understand that legislation. We have to spend a lot of time talking about legislation. So for us, it's an opportunity to be able to give you our understanding of what's going on with legislation and how really it should be interpreted both now and with potential case law coming in. We're also then going to, of course, introduce our technical solution to you today. We're going to show you how our clients typically manage and work within this legislation using our software. And I think hopefully by giving you that flavour of what we do, giving you the experience, it will hopefully trigger lots of questions for you and possibly thoughts about how you run your business. We're going to be sharing our best practice, and today is really exciting. I'm going to go through the agenda in a moment. I just wanted to sort of outline Boris Live first and foremost, and I don't want to give away the agenda, but we've actually, at the end of today, we're really taking that sharing of best practice, and what we're going to do is, we're very lucky to have one of our clients here with us today, and they're also going to spend some time talking about their experience with the system. And finally, I think really what's the objective here is to simplify what has been quite a daunting few years within this industry. Lots of pieces of legislation have come out, and ultimately our job is to support you and take away some of that fear factor. So without further ado, let's talk about what we're going to do today in the agenda. So we have actually prepared a slide here for you. So that should now be appearing on your screen. You'll see here, first of all, we're going to be talking about Fire Door Safety Week. We're also then going to spend some time going through the legislation itself and looking at that legislation. We're then going to look at our solution, as I mentioned before, and we're going to pull this into a real life experience for you. I know Shatu is very much looking forward to walking you through every stage from manufacturing through to inspections and remedials. So that should be quite exciting. As I mentioned, we then have Bellow Doors with us, one of our clients. They've joined us this morning and they're going to be coming live to you through Boris Live, so really exciting there, and we're going to obviously have some next steps if you need any support moving forwards. So what does Fire Door Week mean, and why are we promoting it as a business, and I suppose what does it mean across the UK? Well, we have to sort of dial back a little bit and look at actual current legislation that's in place, and obviously there's been big change. post the Hackett report and the Grenfell tragedy. Since then, we've had a number of different incarnations of regulations being proposed and introduced, and that's culminated with the latest piece of legislation, which is the Fire Doors Regulation 2022. Now, that actually comes into effect on the 23rd of January 2023, so we're probably 4 months away now from that new piece of legislation. Now, whilst that legislation is in some ways targeted at properties above 11 metres or 6 stories, there is an active consideration that says everybody should be looking at these fire regulations. So what do they actually mean? And what's the translation of them? Well, ultimately, it's starting to go into more granular detail about what should be inspected as part of an inspection of a fire door. So things like alterations to the glazing, things like gaps around the door frame, the true fit within the door frame. These are all key things now that need to be inspected and are regulated against or specifically quoted within the law. Visible damage. Things like ironmongery removed or falling off, closes not closing in a sufficient period of time or closing at all, functioning correctly. So these are the types of things that are actually documented within now the new regulation for the Fire Door Regs 2022. There's also a couple of other key elements in there, one of them being the provision of drawings to assist fire teams. Now, this is a real challenge for some of our clients. And really, it's the first step towards providing a digital solution here now. Gone are the days where we used to have probably the fireman's pack when you used to walk in, or the fireman's locker, and all the information used to be there. Now we're in a digital era. And again, we'll see that as we move into the UK Building Safety Bill, which I'll talk about in a moment, you'll see that again, we have a much greater commitment now to a digital future. But still sticking within Fire Doors Regulations 2022, one of the key elements really is this new commitment now to the frequency of re-inspection. So previously, if you were under something like BM Trada, you would have to re-inspect that door every 6 months. So under the new Fire Doors Regulation 2022, you have a commitment, and that commitment is all non-communal areas, such as your exit from your flat into the corridor perhaps, that would have a re-inspection frequency of every 12 months. All fire doors into communal areas actually have a re-inspection frequency of every quarter. So that's even further in advance of something like BF Trada's every 6 monthly commitment. So that's a big step forward, is the Fire Door Regulations 2022, which, just as a reminder, comes into force on the 23rd of January 2023. Now, there's been a second piece of legislation as well, which I'm sure you're all aware of. That's the UK Building Safety Bill 2022. Now, that is already currently in force. However, there is new additional elements coming into play next year, and they will affect our businesses. So, the first thing is that we have a requirement to move towards a digital O&M manual. Now, as I discussed previously, the requirement for digitalisation is growing and growing and growing. And as of next year, the paper-based manual file handover to the building owner or whatever it may be, that's gone, I'm afraid. And all O&M manuals must be digital. There's also this really, if you've looked into the UK Building Safety Bill, there's a key element in there about transparency and the ability for the end user to be able to recall the information. Now, there's a lot of dispute at the moment, or a lot of questions around who do we consider to be the end user. So the end user in our eyes could be the building owner, the FM team, it could even be the tenant, either be a commercial tenant or it could be the tenant in the flat. So how do we mitigate against that? Well, again, we may start to talk to you today about tenant portals and things like that. So again, technology is going to be your saviour here. Whilst it may appear daunting and lots of new legislation is in place, this is really going to be the requirement as we move forward. So I think that's really sort of started to set the scene a little bit with legislation. Again, our roles here are to really support you. We're the experts in this industry. We spend every day working through this legislation and providing solutions to our clients. So we would encourage you, and at the end, I'm sure Chatou's going to reiterate this at the end, but our telephone number, our email address will be displayed on the screen at the end of this call, and we'd actively encourage you to give us a call, drop us an email, and we'd be happy to talk through your scenarios. That being said, a little bit of housekeeping. I'd also really like it if you could drop us some feedback as well. We're hoping to make Boris Live a regular thing. As you can probably tell, we're a little bit nervous today presenting this to you. We'd like to know what feedback we can get from you and how we can take this forward. So moving on to the next stage, and I promise you, Chatou, you will get to do your presentation in a moment. I just want to really sort of outline a little bit about Boris. So Boris, as I mentioned, was set up as a software business 11 years ago, and we were a direct software solution to the fire industry. So this isn't as though we've rebadged something, we've brought it to, this is a specific software for this industry. And our involvement in fire doors has been consistent for a number of years now, and obviously the legislation is pushing us even further. Now I will say we've been managing to a golden thread standard for the last 11 years now, so we really understand that traceability element. How does Boris work then? Well, I don't want to steal Chatou's thunder too much, but what's going to happen is you're going to be provided with a back office portal. Quite a lot of our clients call this the admin portal, but you'll have a back office portal, and this is kind of the core to how Boris will work. This is where everybody in the office will interact with the back office system. That's then supported by two front-end apps. We have an Android app and an Apple app. So we're system agnostic. Depending on which version or which device you're currently using, you would just download the appropriate app. Again, some of the key requirements you need moving forwards is an ability to work online and offline, and Boris will provide you that. That's going to be absolutely critical. You can never guarantee internet connection out there in the field. We must be able to document everything that's going on. Now, the key for me with Boris, and this is where, for me, your software solution, your processes need to make sure they include this exchange of data from one individual or one stage of the process to the next. So what do I mean by that? Well, if you're the manufacturer, you need to be loading manufacturing data into that asset, that fire door in this particular scenario. When you're the installer, you should be able to gain access to that information and utilize that data as part of the installation, and to document that and to feed it back to your singular asset. Again, those PPM teams, those remedials teams, those inspection teams, those building owners, those FM teams, when they're going out and doing their inspections, they need again access to all of that information, and that should again populate into the central asset, giving you that singular version of the truth. And all of that then should be recalled out to the end user through potentially an end user app, or whatever that might look like, a tenant portal, a building portal. So for me, one of the key elements that you need as part of this solution is that you need to be able to create a system whereby manufacturer passes off information to installer, passes off information to FM team, to remedial teams, and ultimately for that to be transparent to the end user, whoever that end user is. So, for me, one of the next challenges is that automation process. So we've talked about, as part of the new fire door regs, you will have a commitment to revisit each of those doors and re-inspect them, facing into communal areas every quarter and into flats every year. Now, how do you do that? Because at the moment, a lot of you may be working to a manual process whereby you have one of your members of staff actually doing that and setting the appointments. So again, any software that you bring in, any digital solution, any change to process needs to think about how you can automate this and remove this human error from your systems. Again, scanning technology can also help you with this. We've had a lot of discussions with clients at the moment in order to provide an end tenant portal, in order to provide a suitable solution to an FM team. Scanning seems to be hugely important. Shatu is going to go through scanning with you as part of her demo as well. So hopefully, again, that should help and clear up a few things for you. Now, I think, you've heard enough from me this morning. What I want to do is just, I suppose, set the scene a little bit. But I think the key for me now is the presentation that Shatu's going to give, which is going to walk you through the system. And as I say, we've got Ryan, the Managing Director from Bellow Doors, to join us at the end as well. And I really hope that you're going to get something from those. So without further ado, I think I'll hand across over to Shatu.
Thank you very much, James. Fantastic. Thank you very much again for listening to the details that James has provided today around the fire industry and why we believe our solution would be of benefit to any step process, from all the way from manufacturing to right up to maintaining, installing, inspecting, like James mentioned, from tenants to building owners to first contractors, subcontractors, and so on from them. So what we'll do today is we will be demonstrating to you our asset management system for the fire doors. However, do keep in mind our asset management system can be used by a variety of different industries. It doesn't have to be solely your fire doors. However, today we will pencil our demonstration around the fire doors. So as you can see here, currently this is our first part to the system, which is your BORIS back office portal. So your BORIS back office portal, as you can see, has showed us a variety of different elements, how you can tag your fire doors or any other assets that you may be manufacturing, servicing or maintaining. As we can see here, we have our NFC pins, cards and tags. Your NFC pins will require you to drill a 6mm hole into your fire doors. We also have some examples here to demonstrate to you what they look like, but also we can provide you with NFC cards, which are also got a sticker on the back, which you can simply stick to your fire doors or any other asset. We can also provide you with QR codes and barcodes to be able to tag these services that you provide. As you can see here, we will log into the back office portal. And as soon as we log on, it takes us to our asset screen. As I mentioned, this asset screen is penciled around your fire doors. It's great that we're able to work with many fire door installers, maintainers, but also manufacturers. So what we have done today is one of our manufacturers has provided us with a schedule of their doors, and we have bulk imported that list into our system. So what's that given us is a whole list of fire doors that from any stage, but on this page we've got it as an example that we are an installer business. And as you can see, the data you capture against your fire doors is bespoke to you, so you can capture further data than we have on this screen. But as an example, we have got the door ID, the door reference, fire rating, the door type, and the vision in the panel. However, the most crucial part of the system is it gives you that cradle to grave history, all the way from manufacturing to production to installation to even your next maintenance date. So what your next maintenance date would be is our system is set up with your planned preventive maintenance, your PPMs. So for example, as we all know, if you've installed a door, depending on the accreditations that you're accredited by, you have different amount of times that you would need to inspect and maintain your doors. Some might be 3 months, some might be 6 months, some might be every year. This will probably be different for all the different assets that you provide as a business. However, for fire doors, we have kept it for around 6 months. So a great example here, doors been manufactured, production date was on the 17th of June. Obviously this is a demonstration system, so we've got the installation on the 17th of June. But what the system has actually done for us, it has automatically scheduled in our next maintenance date for us. So this will not allow human error to forget about the next inspection date or the next maintenance date with whichever contractor or client that you're working with. So automatically it's created as a job for the 17th of December. And that will be a ready job, unallocated. All is ready for you to do is allocate it to the relevant member within your team to schedule that work in. Then of course, here on the history, it gives us when it was manufactured, installed, inspected. We also have when the fire authority have checked. So this is the great advantage of the BORIS system. You don't only use it at one stage of your process, you can use it at all stages. Like I said, manufacturing, installing, inspecting, maintaining, but even a further step. So even the fire authority are able to download the app and be able to check the doors that you give them access to. Or even building owners that you're doing work for, or even tenants like James was saying, they can scan it and they can raise issues against it, or they can even put if it's fine and require no further works and has passed an inspection. Against that, we also have the pictures of your doors. So we scroll further down. Again, we've created some examples for you for today's demonstration, where we're able to show you the doors against these assets that we've registered. So against here, if we also click in, we also have the site plan. So the system also works with the functionality where we're able to mark up a site plan to be able to demonstrate where your pins are, etc. of your doors. So you see exactly where your assets are located. You also have the status, which will update you at what stage you're in. So if you've done an inspection and it's failed, then it will also tell you it's failed on this screen and it requires a repair. If it's passed, great. You can then click into one of the doors and it gives you even further detail. So it gives you all your door details. As I said, we've bulk uploaded this. You can attach certificates to the door. You have your next stage details. So for example, against this one, we've got the installation. You have your door dimensions, finishes and details. All the detail against your door will be saved against that asset list. Moving on from here, of course, what we will go to is the app side of the system. So you should now be able to see my mobile phone screen if you just give me one moment. So as you can see here, shortly the screen should come up with my mobile phone screen where we will have the mobile app side of the system. We'll just give it a moment to load and that should be on your screen. So what we have here is you will have your app, and when you log into your app you have all the different elements. Please keep in mind we are bespoke to your processes. So if you are a door manufacturer, you will not see door installation, building main contractors, fire authority. You will only see your manufacturing tab, and this is exactly the same thing for all the other stages. For example, your door installation, your main contracting, your fire authority. However, as an example, we're going to start right from the start as a fire door manufacturer. So what we're going to do is we're going to act like we're tagging a door with an NFC pin. We're going to pick which doors we want to be able to tag. So as you can see, we have the schedule of doors in here, and I'm going to pick a door. Then I'm going to tag my NFC tag to my door. And what that will do is that tag will be accessed through that door. So at any point, if we scan that door, what it will do, because we've already installed the pin against it, it will bring back all the data that has scanned against that door. So we've already pre-populated that door with some information. Your door construction, your structural, your overall, your leaf details, and so on. If I scroll down to the bottom, what it's actually going to ask us to do is take a picture of the door. So as an example, we're going to take a picture of this door. And we're also going to take a picture of this manufacturing label, which as an example is an NFC card. What that will do is when we click save, that information will get saved against that pin. So once we save this, that information will feed back into the back office portal. What we'll then be able to do from there is we will be able to see the information on the back office portal, but also at the same time, you're able to scan that pin again and be able to see the manufacturing details. So if we go back to the back office portal and be able to give it a moment. So James has just flicked my screen. So in a moment, you should be able to see my back office screen. So scrolling down, as we see, these are all the previous doors we have installed or maintained or manufactured. So we'll just scroll down to the bottom. And as you can see here, the door that I just tagged with you is straight away instantly hit into my back office portal. So on here, it says that I have manufactured my door on the 22nd of September. It also gives me a picture of my door that I just took with you within this session. And then also, what I also have is the certificate attached to that door. So your standard detail certificate, you can also attach to your fire doors. Great part is what we're now going to do is we're going to go back to the app side of the system. So when we go back to the app side of the system, you should be able to see my screen in a moment. So while we just wait for the screen to come up, just to give you a bit of a further information. So now imagine I'm no longer a manufacturer, I'm now an installer. So I'm on site, I have my door and I'm wanting to install the door. I'll go to install my door, I'll pick my project and my customer that I'm working with. And then what I'll be doing is I'll be acting as if I'm up to the door and I'm going to be scanning my NFC pin against that door. And what that should be able to do for us in a moment is bring back the information against that door. So if we give it a moment on your screen, you will be able to see all the data that I captured against that door. You have all the initial manufacturing details. Scrolling down, we then have the manufacturing picture, which we will be able to see that I took with you. The label, but also even the certificate will come through. This is quite crucial because you've got the certificate against that door. Once you see that certificate will open up, we'll then go back to the actual app. And what we'll move to is the installation details. So against the installation document, this is where the bespoke element of the BORIS system will come in. We're able to digitize your documentation to you, completely bespoke to your document. As an example on the screen here, you can see, very simple, pick your drawings because you're able to mark up a site plan and to take a before and after picture. However, you are also able to have further details. So you might have certain set of questions depending on the accreditations that you're with. It might be FireUS, Entrada, and many more other systems. We're personally not accredited. However, we have the set of questions by other contractors of how they complete their surveys, installations, maintenance, inspections, etc. I'm now going to take another picture. I'm then going to take an after picture. And then also you can write in any remarks or any details against that door. Then you've got your drawing, which you can then zoom in and out of your drawing and mark up to say this is where my door is. What this will now do is it'll take us to the next step. So all that information that we've just captured will fall back into your back office portal. And what this will give you is you can constantly, instantly, from live access, track and monitor your doors, which following the golden thread that James took us through, it's able to give us every bit of detail of all the processes of what we have done. So if James, we just flick our screen to the back office portal, if we give it a moment, you will be able to see my back office screen in a tick. Now, as you can see, my door that I completed with you as a manufacturer, I've now done the installation stage. The installation stage has obviously now said that we've installed on the 22nd of September. But at the same time, it's instantly created our next maintenance date for us. As taking it back to my previous point, it automatically plans in your next maintenance date on the back of our PPM. But also, what we're now able to do is we're able to click on the installation step, and we're able to see all the information we've captured as an installer. So it gives you your customer, your location, who it was completed by, all the door details against that door. And we also have the installation details, the site plan, and so on. We're also able to output this out into PDF, Word, or Excel. Now what we'll be going back to is a next stage of the process. For example, is your inspections. So if we go back to the app, in a moment you will be able to see my app screen. This will now of course show you the element of where we will inspect a door. So we'll go to inspection. Again, we'll pick the project that we are on. If we now scan the chip, what that will do is, again, it'll bring back all the previous data that we've captured together. You should be able to see that on my screen. Scrolling down, you'll have your manufacturing photo, the label. If we give it a quick receive updates, and what that will do is it'll bring back all the data that we've uploaded against those doors. The great part of the system, guys, is the BORIS app can work online and offline. So when I've just received updates, that can actually be set up for you automatically. You don't have to have internet connection at point of completing the works. The only time you would need to have internet connection is either when you're receiving a job or sending a job back. In the process of recording, you won't require internet. So if we go back to the inspection process and inspect a door, and we scan the chip, in a moment that information should come back up. And if we scroll down to the bottom, all the further information will be there, as you've seen. Instantly brings back my manufacturing details, my certificate, my before picture, my after picture, and then we can kindly move on to the door inspection. So this is obviously a more detailed element of the system where you can have pre-population of data, you can have a photo again where you can take a further photo. This is all up to you at those stages what you wish to record. You then obviously have your inspection questions and your drawings, so we can tell it it's either passed or failed on certain elements. We can write into a text box, so we'll just put some dummy data in there. Door status, I'm going to say that it's failed. Sign off. Got our site plan of where all the doors are, if we zoom in as we can see, and save. What this will now do is it'll finally complete the inspection process as well. What that should do now is on our back office portal, it will upload all the information that we've captured against the doors. So in a moment, I'll be taking you back to my back office screen, which you'll be able to see that cradle to grave history that I've done against my doors. So if we just click back to my back office screen, you should be able to see the information I've captured against my door. So we'll just give it a moment to load. The great part of this is you can give live access to your back office portal. So you can have view only, which you can share with your clients, building owners, and even subcontractors if they wish to view how they've completed the work. What that will do is they're able to see all the information that has been captured against that door. So as you can see here, instantly it has now given my inspection document as well that I just completed with you on live. So if we click on the inspection document, what that will do is, again, taking it back to the cradle to grave history against your golden thread of your fire doors, is it has all the manufacturing details, it has all your general information against your installation, and then you also have your inspection and to even say that it's failed. This is where it gives you the full history of your doors. You would need your cradle to grave history against any asset that you have within your business. As I said previously, it can be fire doors, fire extinguishers, fire alarm, but it doesn't have to be just the fire industry. You can be a facilities management business and you can still track and record any assets. It can be a window, it can be air conditioning, it can be a variety of different assets that you can track and monitor from here. So, as we have 5 minutes spare, as we've gone through this nice and smoothly, what I would actually like to demonstrate to you is a lot of our contractors are accredited by different accreditations. As an example, I'm going to show you a BM Trada. So as I said, we're not personally accredited. However, our contractors are accredited and they can digitize the documentation that their accreditation will provide to them. So as an example, I'm going to go back to my mobile phone screen and I'd like to demonstrate to you a BM Trada fire door document. So in a moment, you should be able to see my app screen again. So as you can see here, we have our BM Trada fire door installation, door set survey, and your fire door maintenance document. This is where you're able to complete any documentation that you have within your business. So as an example, we will click onto a fire door maintenance document. And once we open this, you'll have your documentation. Again, these are the documents that we will create bespoke to you. So we have all the sequential numbers, the approved maintainer's name, being able to sign. You then actually have your documentation, so your door reference, your location of your door, description of your door, your time and date of your maintenance, your before and after pictures, and even the documents where you're able to sign off. So you're able to sign off all your documents against the system. But also, as an example, you're able to pre-upload pictures against your doors. The options that you have within these templates are completely bespoke to you. So we have a variety of options from text boxes to snippets to drop-down lists to pre-population of data. What we are trying to do is make all your data to come through accurately from everybody on site, but also to make it more user-friendly on site for your engineers. So rather than having to record on paper, tear and wear of vehicles, not capturing the right amount of data for you to bring back, which collates a lot of work for your admin team, the system can instantly give you the data smoothly in a format that you require. What I'm now going to do is I'm going to be taking you back to our back office portal where you will be able to see all the documentation that have been completed. So in a moment, you should be able to see my back office portal. And when we go to the back office portal, you'll be able to view all the documentation I have completed against that client. So as we can see here, we have a BM Trada fire door maintenance that James has completed for us previously. And if we click into it, it gives us all the information. Again, your customer, your location, who it's been completed by, all the details that have been captured against that, but also even the accurate time of when the template was started, completed, and received on the server. If we scroll down further, you can then see all your before and after pictures. You can see your signature. But what we have at the bottom, this is what your admin teams will absolutely desire within the system, is you'll have these buttons that create your reports for you. It doesn't have to be BM Trada, it can be any accreditation or any format that you wish. We will try and mirror it for you at least 99% to your exact output that you wish. If I click on this button, what will happen is it will instantly create our report for us, which, like I said, can be PDF, Word, or even Excel. Clicking onto the latest one it just created for us, you should be able to see in a moment the report that I have just opened up. So we just give it a moment. It will instantly give us our BM Trada report. So as you can see here, this report might of course change depending on the accreditation you're with, as I said, but as an example, we've got a maintenance here for BM Trada. It gives you all the information that was captured, the signature and the documentation. It's phenomenally amazing, the fact it instantly creates that report for you, because the amount of admin hours that goes into creating those reports is unbelievable. I hope from today's demonstration we've been able to give you enough information for you to see the benefits of our system, but also the next element is where we'll be able to actually give you a live view of one of our clients as a manufacturer, Bello Doors, being able to see and understand how they use the system, how they benefit the system. But I'll be handing that over to James, and from there we'll be able to move on to the next step.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So thank you for that, Shatu. I know that's difficult at 8 o'clock in the morning to run through a full demo like that. So again, guys, look, there's no marks for concentration or tests here. If you need us to break any of that down for you, if you need us to share the video with you, then please do shout up. But I want to move things swiftly along. We'll maybe come back and we'll deal with some of the questions for that later on. But sure. We've actually got Ryan here with us. Come on in, Ryan. Ryan is from Bello Doors. Ryan, I know you're a little bit nervous this morning.
Not a public speaker by any
Don't be. You have done us a huge favour coming along here today, so thank you very much. I want to give you the opportunity before we start, maybe just tell us a little bit about Bello Doors. Tell us a bit about you.
So we're quite a new manufacturing company based in Manchester. We have, we've invested heavily in the machinery and the manufacturing side of things to firstly reduce as much human error as we can to get that compliance pretty much on point as much as we can.
So you're just a manufacturer, are you?
We're only a manufacturer. We want to get that really nailed down before we go into the installation, the surveying side of things. I've had a lot of meetings with different companies, software companies, but I felt like Boris was the one that really nailed down the manufacturing side of it, so getting it right from the beginning, really.
So talk to us about that manufacturing process then. Just give us an overview of that. What stages do you have? How does it pass through your workshop? And then how does it get to that point where it's goods out and it's ready?
Yeah, so obviously all of our stock comes in. Sometimes it's standard off-the-shelf sizes for the more residential customers that we've got, and that can go straight onto our door CNC, where it's got a number of different variables. You've got obviously all your different ironmongery, your glazing, left and right side hung doors, and we really want to reduce that human error, so that's why we invest in the CNC, and then by also getting this software, we can further reduce the human error side of it from there. Well.
I think that's it, isn't it? When you're dealing with humans versus a digital solution, you need it to automate these processes for you.
Definitely, and just for the transparency and going forward, as you say, with the golden thread coming in, it's really important for the end users, the clients, to have it from that manufacture stage right through.
And I think that's always the difficulty then for a manufacturer, is you're building a door to a specification, then handing that door across to an installer who perhaps you have no idea who that installer is.
Yeah, definitely.
You rely on them fitting that door correctly to your standards. Now, without a digital solution, was that a difficult process to pass that information across?
Yeah, so the amount of time that we've saved by using this is incredible, really. So we can get a door schedule, and what we can do is obviously transfer it straight across to the system. Our guys in the workshop then got it on the app. They can see exactly there what that door should have on it, and then at every stage, so from the CNC operator to the assembly, they can scan it, say, oh, something's missing. It's got so many different steps where if obviously we're third party accredited, so if something goes out of the door that's incorrect, that's down to us, and we've got to really keep a close eye that everything that leaves the workshop is not only compliant, but it's to the client's requirements, because it can affect their program if they getting a door set that's incorrect, different, incorrect paint finish, veneer. There's so many different variables of ironmongery, like I said, finishes, that really the amount of stages that we can catch something that's incorrect is really important. And by having this system that is easy to just scan the tag, is it the right size, is it the right height, just makes it really easy for everybody.
So go on then. You keep saying human error. Give me an interesting story from pre-software days related to human error.
We are a new business, and we've had we've obviously had some doors that have gone sight and they should be right hand, they should be and they've gone left hand, and it's really frustrating for the client, and we get that. But we are a new business, and we're trying to invest in every aspect of the business to just reduce it all, to make it as simple as we can do for the guys in the workshop and myself.
Yeah.
As I've been in the fire industry for 5 years, joiner for 12 years, and trust me, I've made many mistakes myself. So it's one of those things.
Are you finding much of a difference between your requirements at the moment for commercial and residential addresses? How are you seeing that difference at the moment?
So the commercial side of things is really data driven. Like we're seeing this as almost just a standard requirement now. I think from the residential side of things, that I think they're catching up as quickly as they can do. But yeah, I think
Okay. And then, sorry, I'm asking you lots of difficult questions this morning. Are there sort of any disputes or elements where I appreciate we've talked about installation of these doors, and you could in effect manufacture correctly, your installer could mess up the installation. So from a dispute point of view, that puts you in a really difficult position.
Quality control and data recording for us are massive, as I said, with being third party accredited, that's what we've got to do.
Yeah.
We could make a door, it could be installed on site. 2 years down the line, somebody could say they wanted to add a glazing to that door or intermittent vent to that door, and we need to prove that that wasn't done at manufacturer level if it wasn't in line with our field of application or global assessment. So this furthermore just gives so much more.
It gives you that proof, doesn't
it?
it?
Yeah, it gives that proof.
Yeah.
Makes it easier to prove that. We have already got systems in place, but this just really makes it 10 times easier.
Good. I think that for me, it should be protecting you as a business.
Yeah.
It should be offering you that protection. And again, it should be offering you solutions that say, right, well, okay, if you're having problems with the installation team of these doors, then we should pass product data sheets through them. We should pass fitting instructions.
We can do that. We can add the installation guide to it that we've put together.
Yeah.
Obviously, the global assessment that we provide already on there just makes it easier, so they can scan that tag and just it brings everything up nice and easy. We don't have to send anything over, and it's got everything on there, and they can see for themselves that if a door has gone out that's for whatever reason it's missed those steps, as our capacity grows, they can say, right, this door's the wrong size, and we'll say, right, hold their hands up, we'll get that rectified as soon as possible.
Fantastic. You've so just sort of flicking back then, you were mentioning earlier that from an efficiencies point of view, this saved you a lot of time.
Yeah.
Is that really the commercial benefit for you? Is it time?
Definitely.
Is it efficiencies? Right.
In manufacturing, obviously the amount of errors and the amount of time spent, not only in the admin side of it, but on the workshop floor, hence why we're investing in software, we're investing in machinery. The quicker we can do things, the more accurately we can do things. From a commercial point of view, is fantastic, and it benefits everybody.
Yeah. So that
the client as well, because to get a cheaper product.
Yeah, of course.
And
so, well, that's the main thing, isn't it? If the client's getting a cheaper product, it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah,
so talk to me about what I think most of the clients would say to me is the real sticking point, the difficult bit. We've got this new legislation coming in. We've got changes to the UK. We've got software coming in, and we potentially have people in the industry that they're going to be slow to adopt this. Our workers, our staff. How have you been successful in changing that mindset of the team?
Obviously, we have. Well, it wasn't that easy. Some people just don't want to use the phones. They want to use the phones when they're on Instagram, and Facebook, but. I think it's just got to happen. I mean, when we have got a manufacturing job sheets that go around with the doors and quality control sheets, bits of paper get lost so easily. Having it all on your phone, quick scan, sizes, glazing, ironmongery, I think it's just going to make it. It already has made a massive difference to how we operate in the workshop, and it was a no-brainer. We just said, this is how we're going to do it now. We've got to make some changes. We want to grow with everybody else, really. And we want to stand out from the crowd and be one of the leaders, really.
We can see that. We can see that. You can see that in your business. I think for me, you've hit the nail on the head there when it comes to the mindset. And this is some of the times the difficult conversation I have to have with clients. You almost have to get it proved to the guys first, don't you? So you have to show them, get that resistance from them, and then be able to say, but actually, did that save you time? Has that protected you at some stage? And then when they start to see that, actually, they adopt that really
definitely. And if it's just great for everybody. I mean, even to a point where, so they go through the quality control stage, and if something's been missed, we could just get an email pinged to us that says, look, it should have had glazing, it's not been put in for whatever reason, it's fine. It just goes back to the beginning of the manufacturing stage and gets the glazing put in.
Fine.
It's brilliant.
So, probably last question from me. What do you think of the legislation? What's your personal views?
Well, like I said, I worked in the fire industry for 5 years. I've worked down, after Grenfell, I saw, for me personally, as I was working as an installer, just the amount of concentration around the fire industry completely changed. I think it's brilliant. I think I've seen it firsthand down there, how taking the old doors out, just how lack of care, lack of traceability, lack of everything, and I think it's fantastic. I think, especially even the stickers on the top of the door that most people use, or the tags that BM try to use. Not a lot of people know what they actually mean, or what the colours are on the tags. But with this, it's a no-brainer. You can just put your phone to it and you can see it. And I think it's brilliant. I think it's fantastic.
And for me, that's the only way we're actually going to meet the end user requirement of the UK
definitely.
Building Safety Bill. You know, there has to be a way that we can identify every one of those assets. I mean, we're talking here today about fire doors, but it doesn't matter whether it's a fire extinguisher, a damper, whatever it may be. Ultimately, that is going to need to be, or the information around the manufacturing, the installation, the inspection routines, that's all going to have to be recalled out to the end user. And I struggle to find a way to do it without a sort of a portal at the end. So I'm really excited. First of all, I'm so grateful you could come in today and talk us through this. And I want to give you an opportunity to promote yourself as well to anybody who's listening. So make sure you do before we finish. But I just wanted to say, look, thank you for that. I really appreciate it. I know you were incredibly nervous here today.
Not a public speaker,
You've done brilliantly.
At all. I hope nobody's fallen asleep on me.
You've done absolutely brilliantly. So just before you sign off, if anybody is interested, and obviously a great door manufacturer that's prepared to give up his morning to come in and speak with us and to speak with you, just give us out your email address and your business address, will you?
So Bello Doors Limited, and my email address is ryan@bellodoors.co.uk. We're just currently getting our website manufactured and built alongside the other software that we're going through. So that'll be live, I think, in the next 2 weeks. But you can find me on LinkedIn.
Fantastic. And if anybody needs you, Ryan, then if you contact us, we can put you in touch with Ryan as well. So
thank you very much for your time.
No, thank you, Ryan. It was really, really good. Cheers, mate.
Thank you.
So I think for us, we're just going to wrap up now, guys. That was really useful for me. It's really great when we speak to any of our clients and they tell us about some of the real world experiences that they're having. We started off at the beginning of this session talking about the legislation and the changes that were in place to legislation. And we've sort of almost come full circle here now to talk about what one of our clients is doing. But the change for Ryan and for Bello Doors has been huge for them. Let's not sort of, park it to one side and say how easy this whole process is. But hopefully we've given you a bit of a snapshot today and a bit of a flavour in terms of what software can do to try to help you. Now, there's only so much we can do in this small little session that we've got with you today. So, again, I think Shatu's going to do a wrap-up in a moment, but I think please, reach out to us should you need anything, and we'd be happy to help.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, James. Thank you very much, Ryan, as well. I feel like it's been fantastic to understand how a manufacturing would actually use our system as well. Finally, I'd like to finish off to say thank you very much for everybody joining us this morning. We will be holding more of these sessions moving forward. So we will obviously send you an invite, share the links with you on different platforms.
Could we also ask for your feedback? What do you want to see in these sessions?
Correct.
What's been successful in these sessions? What has driven you to distraction this morning? Give us the feedback, warts and all, and we can improve. Sorry,
Definitely. No, 100%. Thank you very much, James. Give us the feedback. That would be fantastic, please, because we can tailor the further sessions around your requirements and what your desires are to see from our system. At the end, we will share some details with you. However, if you are interested in a more in-depth demonstration or even questions around other elements of our system, you can contact us in a variety of different ways, either through our email address, which is info@boris-software.com. That's info@boris-software.com, or even on our landline, which is 03300 414 880. That's 03300 414 880. Please let us know of any questions. We look forward to seeing you all and many more attendees on our next session. But once again, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.